All right, guys, we're back in the shop, and today we have a 36-inch Magnavox TV. Let's crack her open and see how much gold is inside. As always, you're going to need a couple tools, a couple screwdrivers, a Phillips, and a flat blade works just fine, a pair of rubber-handled nippers, a magnet to tell what kind of metal you're going to find inside of there. If you do have a drill, that's going to come in handy for all them screws inside of that massive TV. But if you don't be discouraged. Go get your hand tools. That's how I started. And as always, a good friend and a set of safety glasses. That's right, there's going to be tons of stuff flying everywhere, so protect your eyes because there ain't enough gold in that TV, I guarantee it, to pay for my emergency room visit. So let's get her open and let's see what's going on inside. All right, so first thing you're going to see is, yeah, there's a cord. There's a cord with that. That's a bonus. That's super nice. You usually don't always find them, especially if you find these out in the wild like I do all the time. That's right. If you see them out in your hallway or your apartment building or you're out on the street, you're not going to want to pass them up after watching this, especially if you stick around and see how much gold is actually inside of it. Yeah, so it looks like we have an external speaker on there. It doesn't look like the speakers are in the TV, or if they are, then this is just an additional soundbar that somebody opted to buy when they purchased it. So we're going to get it flipped around and see if we can't get that speaker off first. All right, so usually with these older TVs, especially the plasmas especially, they're super heavy, so they're always attached onto these brackets that are really heavy duty metal to hold them up. But before we flip this onto its face to start take care of it, I'm going to see if we can't get that speaker off. Yeah, so it looks like it's just two screws, and the reason why I say it's aftermarket is because it's actually hooked up inside of there. So it looks as though maybe it came with it, maybe it didn't, I'm not sure. Most TVs come with speakers inside of them, some monitors don't. But hey, if it's a bonus, it's a bonus. There's always a bonus. Hey, there's always stuff to be had. So let's see what's inside of that. That feels like a really heavy speaker, so we're going to get this flipped around, and it's probably going to be nothing but plastic, but let's check it out. All right, it looks like it's just going to kind of lean out and fall out. There's only held by two screws in those wires, and it's got a couple more screws in it, but it looks like it's a sealed speaker box. I'm not sure, maybe it'll actually be good for, since it's got external wiring, it might actually be good for my shop to hang up, you know, somewhere up there to maybe get some better sound out of my scientific TV over there. So I might not tear this part down. Hey, this is part of scrapping. If you can find something that's usable and still nice without keeping 150 of them, then why not? So I may keep that, and I may just hang that up in the shop somewhere where I want it. Even if I don't hook it up right away, I'm gonna get it up and out of my way. So yeah, let's get this TV laid on its face and start taking the screws out of the back. All right, so we switched over to the impact because with these bigger bolts inside of this TV, it's had a lot of wee-woo wobble, and chances are these are pretty locked in, pretty nice and tight. But if you guys are gonna do it by hand, then just get the biggest blade you can, and I suggest you give it a little twist forward and then start turning backwards, and I tell you what, it'll unlock them each time. In fact, I don't even have to use the impact on these guys. But yeah, so if it's for your first time, just give it just a little crank forward and then come back, and you'll find you won't strip out them screws. So I have this kind of leaning on my workbench just like this for you guys, if you're in the same kind of setup. So I got this stable, and I'm going to stand right behind this as I take the screws out so that it doesn't go flying. A lot of these are metal. This one so happens to be plastic, and they'll have some weight in the bottom of them. But you don't want that bouncing around, knocking over your neat little heater down there. So I'm going to get these two screws out real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, so those legs were inside of here just like this, and they just slid out of the bottom of the base. And hey, that's clean steel. There's no plastic on it, so that goes in your clean steel pile. There's a little bit more, and it may only be 4 cents a pound, but that's pennies in the jar if you save it up. And you do enough scrapping, it will collect, I promise. And if you don't have an outlet for your steel, do what I do. Go talk to other scrappers. Sometimes they come across electronics and they don't know what to do with them. So maybe they'll come pick up your steel and trade you some TVs for them. You never know. Think outside the TV box. That's right. Now this is plastic, and unfortunately, If you've already watched my videos, you already know. If you haven't, then that's where the plastic goes. And unfortunately, we cannot recycle that. That is not recyclable. If you mix that in with other plastics that are recyclable, it's going to wreck the whole batch. It's not going to make a cohesive product, and it will not be reusable. So unfortunately, that will be going to the dump. And a lot of people say, hey, that's not recycling. Well, I can't help it, but I tell you what, a majority of this material is going to be going back into the system where it can become houses and TVs and other electronics that you're soon going to be holding watching this video, I hope. So let's get this plastic off the back of here and see what's going on. That's right, and for you first timers, welcome to scrapping. It's a fun thing to do, but you gotta look out for them hidden screws. I was sitting here trying to figure out how I was gonna get this off, and all you gotta do is look for hidden screws. And I know some people just start whack-a-doing in it. I try not to in my shop. That's just me. This is my house. This is what I do. But yeah, you sure can just start whack-a-doing at this though, and you can get it out of there. But for me, I try to pry up around the bezel, especially, you know, these flat screens. You can lay them on their face there, and most of the time they come up. But there's got to be a screw or something I'm missing out on somewhere in here. So we'll find that and see what we can do. All right, so we got the plastic loosened up. Let's do the reveal here. Let's see what's underneath of there. Now, if I can get my thumb in there again. These will usually have a lot more than your newer LED TVs. It's just a promise. It's just how it works. You know, electronics weren't as good as they are now. Let's see. I bet it has some boards in there for us. It sure does. It sure does. So again, this plastic is not recyclable. It's going to go over in our pile over here that we've been collecting up for the series, and that's right. I will bring it to my yard, and there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Ain't that right? Sometimes it just sucks. That's just how things go. Let's look in here. Man, everything is shielded. So what that's telling me is that there is some important things in here they did not want you to touch for some reason. So I tell you what, we're going to start cranking out all these little screws in here. This board, in fact, will come off right now as we speak. I know some people don't like to sit there and watch, you know, these parts, but it is part of the scrapping. It is. And I should have took the connector off, but hey, there we go. That's not much of nothing. It's just a low grade board, if anything, but it's got your RCA connectors and your whatever else on there, your audio, everything else. We'll put it over there, and we'll get this into our steel pile here, and yeah, we'll get this going. All right, so we're back, and I think we got all the screws out. Yeah, there's quite a few. They were everywhere. I know they don't look like, but they are. There are a lot of them. Yeah. So we got them all out, but I still haven't checked in or looked at anything. I ran my razor knife along this tape. Yes, it's aluminum. No, most scrap yards hate to find this. Yes, you can sneak it in with your aluminum cans. You do you. That's your house. That's your thing. But let's get into it. So a lot of these studs along here will be made out of stainless steel. They don't want it to corrode, but today, no luck. They're just regular steel, so I'm not going to mess with them. But if they were stainless steel, I'd take a pair of channel locks or monkey grips, whatever you want to call them, and pop them off and throw them in my stainless steel. But today, we don't have to do that. Everything looks like it's going to be stainless steel. Looks like it's going to stick. So let's get in here. This is just a piece of steel again. And here we're going to have a power board underneath of here, and you just disconnect the wires to it, and you just, you know, these ribbon cables sometimes will have some gold in them right here. For all you new guys, they just pull out and you just disconnect them. But see this pink wire right here? This pink wire is telling me that, yeah, it's gonna have the mercury tubes inside of this TV, so you don't want to be mucking around with it and breaking those tubes. They're about as thick as a strand of spaghetti. Everybody around the world kind of knows what a thickness of spaghetti is. It's a little bigger. I had one of my Italian viewers correct me. I'm not sure how big it is, but anyways, so yeah, you don't want to break those tubes. You don't want to break those tubes, but you do want to get to the gold. So let's just do our best not to do. What's on the back of that? Okay, it just looks like it's a piece of plastic. There's some caps on there. So let's get this board. There's actually a lot of steel and a lot of stuff happening with this TV here today. So we're gonna try to get this out. All right. So that's one power board. Over here we have a low grade board where you connect in your RCAs and your video and your audio and everything. I do believe it's an out. Either way, it's a low grade board. You can throw it in your low grade board, sell it for pennies on the pound. I don't do that. There's not a lot of value in this thing for me. I don't know what to do with just these little tiny guys at the moment, but I will work on that because we do return everything to the system that we can. Let's see this little guy. What is this gonna... Okay, so that's steel too. Most of the time this is stainless steel, but today we strike out. It's just regular steel. It's gonna go into our steel pile. And what else? We got another one of these protectors. It looks like it keeps the heat in. And we got another metal flange. And look, hey, I forgot screws. Look at that. It happens. There are screws everywhere and you're gonna forget them, and if you pull on something and it's not coming out and you know it should be, then you know there's a screw stuck in there. That's right. Okay, so that's going to steel. This guy, believe it or not, it's about 4 or 5 pounds of steel right there. It's only 2 cents a pound, but it adds up. So we got another power board, low grade board, but I bet there's some secrets on it. It looks like it might have something on it. I'm not sure, but we'll take a look at the end of the video. And you just disconnect the wires and it's like a game of pickup sticks. You start taking off the thing that's at the top of the pile the best you can. So another low grade power board. We'll put her over here. That's right. We won't throw it away. There's some more plastic. Again, unfortunately, I can't do nothing with that. Let's see. So underneath it here is where there's going to be the boards, I do believe. So let's see. I cut that tape, like I said, hoping that, you know, maybe this will come apart. There's some more steel brackets. These things were built pretty heavy duty to hold up the, you know, a lot of the plasmas. Well, the plasmas I do believe have glass screens in them. LCDs have a plastic screen in them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's partially why it makes the plasma TV so heavy, is because there's just an immense amount of glass and everything involved in it. So that was just an antenna wire, I do believe, or I'm not sure, just a little low grade wire. All right, let's see if we can get this out here. Okay, it's connected to the TCON board up underneath of here, which is fine. You just squeeze the ends and be careful about that, because that's right. Look at that, there's gonna be some gold in there, and I know you're gonna say it's not a lot of gold. Well, I tell you what, it goes in my stock pot just the same. Free gold is free gold, whether it's a little bit of gold or a lot of bit of gold. I don't turn stuff down, and some people don't have the time to take this apart and look at things like this. So, I do it for them, and I'll do it for free. And if you're one of those people and you know me and you're watching, why don't you head on down with your TVs and we'll take them. Look at that thing. I don't know what's underneath there, but that's actually pretty cool. There's a whole lot of happening underneath of here. So we're gonna have to take this and set this aside and look at it further. So I think all we're gonna end up taking out of here is the TCON board. We'll get the screws taken off of that right now, and we'll see underneath there, because that's going to have them gold ribbon wires that I really like. Yeah, so let's see. We're going to get the other screws taken out. And for all you new people, you're asking me, what am I doing with the screws? You know, do I throw them away? No, I keep them. I put them inside of my screw bucket down here. That's right there. And I'll dump them into my microwaves. And when I bring my microwaves in for scrap steel, some places will give you price for appliance price or whatever, but hey, throw them in your microwaves. Don't get rid of them. Make a few cents off of it. Why not? You're taking the time to take them apart. Why not make a cent or two off of them? You're already keeping the steel from it. So there's that TCON board. One of the sweet spots we're looking for. This has the gold in it. Most of the time you try to take these ribbon cables off before you take the screws out, but lately it seems like there's been some kind of shroud around this that has the screws that connect the board to the TV. But hey, if you get in here with your little screwdriver and you flip up those guys right there, they're gonna come out. And if you look at them and you take them out, You look at them, chances are they're going to have some gold, and they sure do. And yeah, that's not much. Again, everybody says, hey, Scrooge, that's not a lot of gold. Well, I tell you what, it's free, and I'll take it. And I'll put it in my stock pot over there and got not a problem. And if you can't do it, bring your stuff on to me, and I'll throw it in that stock pot too. And at the end of this series, we'll see how much gold is in there. So, we're looking for the finger strip boards. Yeah, if you guys are watching this video, I'm sure that you guys are wondering what the finger strip boards are. So if not, and you already know what they are, skip ahead and let's see what's in there. If you don't know what they are, they're in the bottom of the TV, and we have to take this plastic shroud off to get to it. So let me get to that, and we'll check it out. But the way you can tell if it's a plasma versus an LCD is if the screen is glass, it'll be a plasma. If it's an LCD, it'll be a plastic or whatever, or thin glass, whatever it may be. But so I will make sure I write that in the thumbnail properly, and I will fix it in the beginning of this video. And if you're still sticking around, this is what we come for right here. This is what we're here for. This gold stuff right here. These are the finger strip boards. So if you gently just pull down on them, it'll go, and it'll release your gold. Now if you pull too hard, you're gonna start pulling your gold off of there like I just did right there. So you really don't want to do that. You don't want to go all wonky. You just want to gently pull down on it, and there you go. That's right. So I might not know the difference between a plasma and an LCD, but I tell you what, I do know how to get some free gold. And if you guys stick around and watch my other videos, you'll learn too. That's right. And for all you new guys out there, you guys that returning the views and checking it out, hey, go hit that button. I know nobody likes to hear it. I know nobody likes to listen to it. I know people are tired of hearing it, but if you hit that subscribe button, it sure does make our job a lot easier to be able to make these videos for you guys, especially the guys that are just doing the one-offs. You want to know what's in your TV? You want to know how much gold is in there? Well, hit that button. Go check out other TVs, because we're always taking apart a bunch of TVs. We got tons of different stuff happening all the time. Ain't that right? Yeah, he's back on the bench today. So for all intents and purposes, this is the end of that TV. Now, if you continue to break it down, you're going to see those little glass lamps inside there, but that's up to you guys. Let's get these boards laid out, and let's see what kind of gold is in that TV. Oh man, guys, that's right. We almost forgot about this big metal box. So I took all the screws out. I kind of went through and clipped some wires and stuff, so they're just not getting in our way. I haven't looked at it yet because I sure do like getting a big reveal on camera here. So I'm guessing this is a power board, but that sure is a big heat sink. Where'd my magnet go? Where's my magnet? There it is. Yeah, and that's telling me that that's aluminum. That's why I like this magnet. You can stand it up, and then when in doubt, you know. But so that's aluminum. So that's telling me that there's something really really nice underneath that board for sure. And so for all you new guys, they protect their BGAs and the important stuff with aluminum heat sinks, because aluminum dissipates the heat. So if you're ever questioning whether it is or it isn't something, just think about where it is and what it's being used for. But let's see this power board. Oh man, okay, yeah, that's got some stuff on it. That's got some things. That's got some copper and a few other things we'll go over at the end here. And you got a couple chunks of your low-grade wire right there. You got some more inside of here, but I want to see what's on this. I want to get this board out. So let's zoom out here. And let's see what it is. What's underneath of this? I'm hoping there's some BGAs, because there's usually BGAs, but we've struck out a couple times. So let's see what's underneath of this guy here. Oh man, some more of that paste. You gotta watch out for that stuff if that's your first oh man, stop me in my tracks. Yeah, look at that. These are some nice BGAs. Look at that little flat pack there. These BGAs. We're gonna get this board out, and we're gonna look at it a little bit more here, because there's some stuff happening on there. There's just a couple more screws that I couldn't get to, because I didn't want to wreck the reveal. Let's see if there's another one. All right, look at those. That is a nice board for a TV. If you do enough TVs, you'll learn that you don't always get a lot of stuff. And if you're having trouble with boards, go look at the connectors. Chances are there's a screw you left behind. That's right, as if you didn't have enough of them already. All right, so let's see. That is a nice little board. That is an impressive little TV board. And there's even another one for the USB. Get out of there. Right here. Yeah, we're gonna get that guy out. And let's see if this all comes out now. Yeah, so you got a couple chunks of low-grade wire that'll go in your bin. And yeah, that's right, save up your wires. I use dog food bags too. I've had to go because all my bins are full, so I had to start using dog food bags. But they work really nice. They don't break when you're at the place, and you can empty them out, bring them home, use them again, and they work great. And you're recycling. So you got another chunk of steel, whole buckets. There was a whole lot of steel in this TV. I tell you what, there's at least 30 pounds sitting right there on my workbench. No joke. So let's see what we got in these boards here. We're going to run them down quick. And let's start with the power board. Well, first and foremost, let me get my pointer. All right, so in here, in a power board, normally you'll have some extruded aluminum. That's nice. You can tell it's extruded aluminum because it looks like it was squeezed through a press. Those are going to go for a lot more. Than regular aluminum. Take them off, and they're usually attached to these transistors, MOSFETs. They usually have 3 legs. Sometimes they have more, and there's some on the back side. And you take those off. You take these guys off, and they're going to have copper in them. Sure, you bet yeah, they will. And if your scrapyard don't take them, there's one that will. I guarantee it. Here's another little extruded aluminum with some copper. And sometimes they have gold, and sometimes they have silver. And I know you guys are looking at these. These are copper as well. That's right. You take them, you smash them with a hammer. All this copper folds out. The iron ferrite in the center breaks apart into little crumbles. Use gloves. And there's some number 2 copper, and you got it all over these boards. You just never even know where it's gonna be. And I know you guys are seeing these capacitors back here. Yeah, they're labeled C. They're a capacitor. I think they're a film capacitor. They're like a Mylar, and there's not. I don't know what's in them. I gotta quit saying there's nothing in them because I see people saving them up, and I'm doing some research. That's right. If you don't know what you got on your board, do a little research. You'll find out that this IC style chip may contain a little bit of gold. It may not. And these guys are aluminum right here. That's right. They can go on your aluminum can bin if you want. And sometimes these are relays, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they have an epoxy inside of them, and you can tell the difference. If they're a relay, they're going to have a copper spool and a little bit of silver that goes up and down like that, and it's going to make the contact, and that's going to be your silver contact. You also have the option of ceramic disc style capacitors. That's right. If you look at the board and there's a C on it, then it is a capacitor. And I do believe that says Z. Nope, that says a 2. Anyways, so these disc capacitors will have some silver in them. Most likely, you'll find them all over the boards. Here's another one. Here's another one right here. They usually sit by your transformers and stuff, especially. These guys are really big. They got a lot of copper inside of them. You smash the edges of them with a hammer and you can take it out, but there's a lot of film in between each layer of copper. So you do you. You figure out if you want to bring them in as is, or if you want to take the time to take them apart. This guy right here is a diode. It transfers electricity from one side of the board to the other, or at least controls the transfer of electricity, and I know that's equal to an LED. These are a couple transistors. They're 3-leg packages. They're plastic, and they will go in with my IC chips and my diodes and my LEDs. I've been looking into those a little bit more. Somebody had told me they're a glass barrel something or another right here. I'm sorry, I'm spacing out on the guy who gave me the information. Thank you very much on it. He says that there may contain silver and gold sometimes, but most likely not. But there's a whole lot of them on this board. You got some more capacitors down in here, and I don't know if they will or they won't have tantalum in them. I kind of doubt it. I lean toward the side of caution when collecting tantalum because you just don't want to muck up a good collection of tantalum. And I apologize if my finger was in the way. All right, so we got the TCON board. Let's see what's going on with the TCON board here. So you got your flat pack. It's an IC style flat pack. It has legs. Every one of these legs will represent a gold bond wire that leads to the die in the center of this chip. That's right. For you new guys, if you didn't know, some of these chips have gold in them, and every one of these legs represents a little hair of gold that goes to the center of it. So if you take these off your board along with these guys, you have a chance of getting gold out of your TV for free. That's right. I know you thought I was kidding, but I'm not. And if you watch enough of my videos, you too will see that I get free gold all the time for my TVs. And here we got, this is a diode. So I know people are going to say it's a tantalum capacitor, but no, it's not. It has a D on the board, so that means it's a diode. If it was a tantalum capacitor, it would have a C for capacitor on it, like these guys over here. These are MLCCs. Multi-layer ceramic capacitors. People also call them monolithic capacitors. I don't know which one the name is, but I know sometimes they contain silver, platinum, palladium. Ooh, yeah. So I don't pass them up. I don't pass them up. You'll find them everywhere. You'll find little guys, these thick film resistors. They're the black guys right here with the numbers on them. They have an R on the board, and they're resistors. I don't know. Some people say they have silver in them. Some people say they don't have nothing. I'm not going to throw them away when I depopulate the board. I'll put them in their own section. These are little diodes. It's D, so it's got to be a diode, right? Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, we're going to do some research on it, and there's tons of little MLCCs everywhere. And because these connections had these ribbon cables inside of them. That's right, the gold ribbon cable. That means that the inside of the connector is also going to have some gold in. So don't get rid of those connectors. Don't get rid of those ribbon cables. Those are some of my favorite things to find, are these ribbon cables, because they're easy. You cut the ends off of them, the little blue part. You throw them in your stock pot over there. Bingo, bango, bongo. You got gold in a week. Just take your time. If they have aluminum tape on the back of them, don't throw them in there like that. Take that aluminum tape off, because you're going to start worse than a high school volcano in your shop, and you're not going to be happy, and you can't blame me for it, because I warned you. What's up with these power boards? Well, lately on these power boards, I've been finding things like gold looking type of fuses. And I know you can't see it in the light. Maybe you can. Okay, well, this one looks like it has silver on it. Other ones look like they contain more gold. But these guys look like they have silver on them. So that's cool for you silver people. If you like to collect them up and you do your process with them, then that's great. And then you end up with, you know, stuff like... Where's my pointer? Where am I at on my screen? There I am over here on this board. Feel like a weatherman. So these IC chips, they may not have gold because they're on a power board. They may have gold. Each one of those legs may represent a hair in there of gold. You never know. But I tell you what, you get a chance to get some of this copper out of here, and that's more copper number 2, and it will all add up. It doesn't look like a lot, but it will add up, I promise, just like this aluminum adds up. And that's right, aluminum and copper can be recycled continuously for almost indefinitely. I don't know, because I haven't been around that long, but I tell you what, some of this aluminum existed long before I did. So let's get it back into the system. And that's right, let's move on to the more gold producing items that we have here. We have our main board, our logic board, or whatever you want to call it. You put all your items, your components and everything, you attach it inside of here, and that's how you play your Mario and you do your thing. But let's see on the backside right away. I know everybody's talking about these BGAs right here. That's right. For you guys that don't know, these are 2 different style of BGAs, which is nice because it's on one board. This style will have gold bond wires, and in fact, if you zoom in there, you can see all these little lines going in here. That's right. They all represent one little ball underneath of this. That's what a BGA stands for. It's a ball grid array, and those little balls will have a gold bond wire running from them to the center of the die. That's right. So for every one of those little balls, that's a little gold hair. These have the same gold as these do, but these look a little different. These are underneath a little more heat, a little stress, a little more demand, so they have a copper heat sink on the top of them, and that sure does look nice, doesn't it? The only difference between this one and this one is the fact that this one will weigh more. So per number of them, this is going to weigh more and this is going to weigh less, but you're going to have the same amount of gold out of each of them. So if you're kind of trying to do a yield by weight, these are going to throw you way off. These won't. So if you want to do that, you separate them. I personally don't. It don't bother me. Gold is gold, freer. So I don't really do the yields right now, but there's more MLCCs. And there's all sorts of stuff, more ICs, more surface mount transistors back here, some more MLCCs. There's another IC flat pack. Look at that big old MLCC right there. That's right. I don't know if they got silver in them or not, but you know what? I'm not going to pass it up. And hey, we got another flat pack. I'm willing to bet that flat pack has some gold in it. And again, all those gold, and so all these and all the plastic, anything plastic's going to go in the same process for me. And we'll get to that here coming up on the next couple episodes as soon as we get done with our TV extravaganza. We're getting down there. We got we got a curved screen, and we got a massive TV, and we got a couple other ones. We got more TVs coming in every day, so if I wanted to try to end this, I couldn't do it. So we're going to have to find a stopping point at this TV series here. But yes, so we're going to take care of this, and we're going to put this in our stock pot at the end of the series. And with that being said, guys, I don't know what more to say other than if it's not worth it for you to do this, then bring it to me. I take it for free. You don't have to pay to get rid of it. And that's right, we put it over here in our stock pot, and we'll get that gold for free, and we'll put it on a video, and you guys can check it out. So for all my one-off viewers, thanks for watching. For my returning viewers, hit that subscribe button. You know how it works. You know how these channels do. And for all my subscribers, thank you. I hope that it was informative, and you guys are learning something. I hope you can teach me something, and we will see you guys on the next one. For my wife, I love you, and for my kids, go wash your face.